intense zone and less than a minute. So
This guy's got a rift, flintlock,
right here, has
2 launch pads, I think.
the first placement threshold.
3 more before you hit that top 25. Rift to go, 2 launch pads, even a flintlock potentially as a mobility weapon here. Wolfie's sitting on honestly a pretty solid kit. We've seen the flintlock as one of the most used, versatile weapons.
Now he has 1 launch pad.
I don't think there's been anything that's come close to it, to be quite honest with you. It serves so many purposes. We've said before, on the cast, to make sure that people understand, it really is, it's a very important loadout piece for players that know that they can be playing inside boxes versus others that potentially have to fall down from above, especially if they don't have a redeploy. They've got a weapon that can stop them if they have 2 builds and catch themselves on the low ground before they hit the bottom and take all that fall damage. Applying pressure from underneath right now. Wolfie's trying to drop in his opponent. Quick replace the floor. Wolfie's looks like it was be over there to the top left. Mongraal rotating top right of your screen for just a moment. 2 more players need to go down before we hit the threshold. I'm thinking at some point we're going to see a rift to go here from Wolfie's to reposition. Trying to bait out shots just like that. Sly Clement on the rotation, does not realize Wolfie's is hiding inside the box. Here we go, pulls the rift out and pops it.
Yep, and he makes sure he's on the backside of the circle, scouts everyone else. They're not letting anybody else on a free ref. And also, just going to pop his parachute and hang out because it's 26. Boom.
Parachute.
So everyone's getting the 3 points there. And now let's take a look at
Okay,
the rest
bud.
of the lobby. Keemstar on the low ground has already double qualified. Stompy as well now on board with Mitro here as he gets taken out by Lord Rohat. And that is monstrous. Did get the 3 points for the top 25, but not going to get any more. Mix and Stompy on the low ground. Nuji's Kaizen is about to go down as all of a sudden, and now we're into the top 15. That was Mongraal. I apologize for speaking there. Stompy goes down as well. So nice little spree from Wolfies all of a sudden. Up to 6 elims. You see Martaz also still in the lobby as we get closer to the top 10. Wolfies continuing to take shots here, but not finding anything right now. Player next to him does own that wall, so just going to go 1 over.
Wolfie's an excellent example of timing the shot, timing the push. Doesn't have to move out too far ahead of the circle if he doesn't want to. You do get a little bit of that leeway. You have a chance to look back exactly as he's doing now and look for chances to take shots at players that are still on the move. Some shots from up above, that combat shotgun range, very effective.
How did that guy miss both of his shots?
Scope in, ADS, take those shots, see if you can get full damage on it. Shot from above, third-party opportunity at the fish down.
He definitely got somebody. Yeah.
Up to 41. 3 players left. Wolfie's at 41.7 eliminations, a big game already. Launch pad's gonna kind of be useless.
Oh.
Jump shot around the corner. Wolfie's picks up another elim. Looking at 8 right now, and he's in a 1v1 all the way up top. The player dropping in. Spoiler. Look for any chance he can. Take an opportunity to take a shot. 25.
It's an even fight.
About the same amount of material, so it's going to go into a heads-up 1v1 here. Someone's going to drop in on the other. Wolfies might make a climb before too long. Does have the flintlock and the launch pad if he wanted to do it. But just baiting the timing on a shot might be the most important play right now.
One thing to note, though, spoiler, has the high ground, also has 5 bandages and the campfire. If it goes to a full close, which happens in 45 seconds, he will have the advantage. But I don't think he's going to get there. Wolfies goes up with the flintlock. You can see that in the bottom right-hand corner. Gets the first shot. Now has the shield advantage, but loses
Wolfies is on.
As spoiler puts himself.
The Wolves guy's on ultimate highs.
Wolfies in your bottom right. You can see the action on the wide. Here's that slight elevation change that's going to force Spoiler out. He goes out in the open. Wolfie 1, 2, 3, and that is it. Spoiler running out of builds, and Wolfie with the high ground retake.
He almost got it. He was at 53.
In the L dance. Adam afterwards saying, that's my victory royale.
Both players running out of materials in the last second, basically forced an engagement. The height advantage, I think, in my opinion, paid off the most, especially because you had a player force out into Storm to try and go for a shot.
What is that build right there? That metal stuff, dude?
Such a versatile weapon. Well played there.
I feel like we've seen so much more flintlock.
Whoa,
The slight adjustment to the shotgun drop rates compared to the last solo week. Players are opting and carrying it a lot later and using it not only as the mobility component, which we've seen a lot of, but a lot more aggressively, like people pushing into boxes with flintlocks. We saw that last victory royale with it and really enjoyed seeing the different types of utility. I know you were saying how it's probably one of the most versatile weapons. I'd argue probably second only to the heavy sniper in terms of that, just because the heavy sniper literally does everything at all points in time. But I mean, just with how good these guys are with the flint, like.
Oh shoot! East starts in 20 minutes.
Most of the players can because it's 150 the body, but these guys make the flintlock looks just so good.
I feel like the heavy sniper is the #1 weapon for assisting other weapons and getting eliminations. Rocket into a heavy snipe, even a double heavy sniper pushing in, you know, take a wall, push in and shotgun. The Flintlock has the movement mechanic on top of it, but it can't, like you said, it can't do things the heavy sniper can do. You can't remove a wall with it on the spot. You can't chain it into other weapons. The Flintlock, though, is you catch yourself with it. Both weapons, though, are crazy.
1A, 1B. How about that? There you go.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, I definitely do agree with you. The heavy sniper enabling others and giving.
Oh, chug jug.
But Airwalk's right there.
Top awareness. Just love to see it.
Disables Amsdalo and gets everything from it, but needs to circle back and try and get that chug and pop it like now if he wants the HP to get off of that.
50 and 83.
He needs that chug a winner.
Will still go down to a heavy snipe to the body. Got to look out for that. Looking for the quick angle change here. He might rotate out into the storm if he can flip this. If needed, the player still sitting right to that corner. You see he's checking through the brick, holding the edit on his own ramp. Closes the outside out, decides to rotate down underneath. Take the chance here to just box up a little bit.
Where'd that chug a winner even go?
Can't really tell how much HP and shield they potentially have, so if he does go out there, he doesn't see what we see. Only 100, maybe 99 HP. Roasting there, but Airwalk's probably, I mean, the player of this caliber could easily push in a 96 in the follow through, like you said.
He don't need the chug now. And he's got
3 now, 32 points and a ton of builds.
Yeah, and he got the shadow bomb for it, which for this longer rotation is going to be huge.
Just the one.
Yes, the one. Just the one, and is going to pop it early. Also notice you can see that Storm Surge threshold on the right side. So what Storm Surge is, once you get into these later circles for circles 6 and 7, if there's more than 30 people left in the lobby, if you have been the passive player, Storm Surge will begin to punish you. You will start taking 10 damage every second as it comes out through. Once those strikes come on down, and now it turns off since we're below the 30 player threshold. So now just all about the elims and the rotation since we're not even at the placement threshold.
So they just do the freaking Storm Surge so people will die?
He was 500, a little over 500 damage above the threshold, which is insane. And it's shots like that, 80 to the back on the fish on rotation, that kept him safe from Storm Surge. Crusher goes down. Airlocks picks up his 4th elimination. One more elim. We get to the placement points here. The top 25. Going to pick up 3 there. Get to top 15, that's 5. Top 5, that's 7. And that Victory Royale is 10. Reminding everybody, if you're just jumping into the stream, maybe you haven't heard what the format is like, always going to kind of refresh that in your memory. All the way up on high ground, looked like that might have been Skype. I'm not sure if...
Skype's doing good, too.
I believe that was him all the way up there. Number of players, though, 25. Heading into the 8th circle soon, as advised. 1 elimination, 35 points.
Hey, Luke.
No movement here.
Did you hear about what happened
late
about
game, but
this
that's
guy?
not going to pay off right now. That is going to pay off. Carrera goes down. Another one to follow through. Finds Ghost on the move.
Oh my God, bro.
4 eliminations now for Advice.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Absolutely incredibly. The heads up right now.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, a triple.
Man,
Well
I
done
have
right
two
there. And
screens.
that was Skype up on the high ground. Saw him now just down with a number of players going.
Oh God, the boy Sundown, I think that's his name. He said, "Oh baby, a triple."
Constantly in the top 5, desperately trying to get.
Why does this dude have 2
This is the last week because Rolla does get ticked over by that storm change again. 60 seconds if you damage someone. Random siphon coming through, and we're into the top 15 now with Airwalks on the mid tarp and looking for more targets.
Imagine a situation you get a tag on someone and 50 seconds later they get eliminated by the storm. You get that siphon at just the right moment. Could be so clutch. The timing could be so important on that. 11 players left, 10 now as Sky goes down to the feed. Swaggy picks one off. 6 eliminations for Airwalks. Push through this wall, find a player on the rotation from behind. Back to back.
Dude, this guy's popping.
Airwalks picks up another one.
He's doing so well at finding people on the edge of the storm, getting next to him, and then just dipping out for a second. But the one thing you notice, he never dips out into the storm for longer than enough to take more than 1 tick. It does take a second to go through, and Majestic actually just picked up a triple of his own because of those storm changes. 1 player he elim, 2 got ticked over from the storm. That should be the player potentially up on the high ground, but now we have our top 5. Airwalks, 2 builds left, is running with that campfire now, but is sitting on 7 elims. Advised all the way up on the high ground. Majestic was on the low ground with Myth the Beast.
He was so low, he had no chance.
Zedek drops down in the shadow form. He's not jumping around, so the player doesn't know where he is. 80 to the body. Can he find it? Pushes through with the combat. Says, I don't need a pickaxe. I'll just take your wall anyway. Brilliantly done there, but now can he win the 1v1 from the low ground? Player is one box directly above him. He hears it. You see the fake ramps out. He goes up, edit off the side, takes the high ground, drops down on top of 1, 2, 3. He gets it.
Literally waiting till the last second. The fake out on the ramp with just, I think he had one build left the last second. So he was literally the almost the most efficient he could possibly be with all the materials that he had left. Opts to move up a different ramp, throws his opponent off, drop in from above. Excellent push with the combat shot.
Fool has 0 ping.
Well,
Probably.
from Zadok now. You see Marcotte and Fool right on the edge of the zone. An intense little 1v1 right now. Trap does go down defensively. Fool saying, I'm having absolutely none of that. You can see he wants to try and get the materials that are there. Trap does get broken on the other side by Marcotte. And now you get a nice little box fight. So this is one of the things, if you want to learn how to get good at competitive Fortnite, learn to fight from a box. Blows the whistle, says it's time to go.
The whistle, the signal to push. Honestly, oh, that's very funny. Push in there.
He's so low.
There.
Atta baby, fool.
Through a 92 crit. Gets him the elimination, double back, pick up the rest of that wood, anything that he can top off with. Shots coming in from the sides, gonna have to wall himself off, double air, and opts instead of popping the minis to shadow bomb, just because I think the fear of positioning there and exposure, maybe adding a little too much attention. Did take one more tap on the move, gonna have a chance to heal up.
I didn't do that much, so fine.
Thick with players, where they stacked up trying to make rotation here. 41. Actually there from the stream. Trick Pog taking forward.
Crew also in the match was second last time we saw him there. We got a number of dual qualifiers over on the looking to get their solo spot. You see Kuma using the stink to try and force the player forward and then editing out. Boom, there goes the second one, knowing they can't stack in volume. And Quadra, that one smells. Go get yourself a gas mask and try and queue back up.
You need something?
So when you're sitting on 3, Elam's now holding the edit. He's going to try and peek on through, deciding to apply
Dude,
more pressure.
oh my god, this dude's getting, he just got 2 elims from fart bombs.
At this point in the game, you have to realize these players understand if there's people that were caught rotating, got tagged up significantly, and didn't have the ability to heal, as will be the case quite often in games like this, where you have so many people in such a tight space. There's a good chance that people that are boxed up in front of you are potentially missing HP, maybe some fall damage, maybe they got hit by multiple people on rotation. They could have been, I mean, we even saw a Shadow Bomb player get shot just moments before that, and we're about 50 HP. That is a good opportunity to just chuck the stink in there, maybe do an HP check, see if they're low, and in this case, it pays off. 2 eliminations with basically no effort. And as you said before, we're looking at...
This guy has a green AR, and that's it.
That Storm Surge goes away. We're sitting at 38 above for Dave. 32 players left, so 2 more need to go down.
Whoop, boxes the baller in. The baller is going to just boost right on out. Says, I want nothing to do.
Oh, he has a shotgun. It just doesn't say it.
Another tag there. You see that threshold number also going up. Needs to be conscious. He left that edit open, but the player, because his back is to the storm, isn't going to have time to take shots towards him. So well played from Dave. Other player pushes it, and Tripburn from Singularity kind of caught a little bit there. Seemed like he was going for an aggro play.
I think potentially he expected Dave to not look back because the catch, good grab there. Tripburn, I feel like was thinking, okay, Dave's not looking at me. I'm just going to step out. I have the angle. I'm going to take the shots from this side.
Oh, he's dead.
And ended up kind of getting collapsed very quickly. Dave's reaction of rotation down there. I'm not sure how to say that name. I'm just going to put that out. It looks like a sneeze. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm not even, I normally even try and attempt on that, but we're in the top 25. Let's pay attention to rotations. As you see, a number of players playing billiards there on the low ground. Crew up on the high ground. You have WGS from South Korea playing over in Europe right now. This is the most ballers I've seen in the lobby in forever.
The most ballers I've seen in the game easily this weekend.
I mean, I don't think we saw this many ballers in Europe when they were at 300 health. Europe has an affinity or like a particular hatred towards ballers rolling around.
We've made comments in the past about how they always seem to be fans of taking shots at players that are in ballers on the move when they have the opportunity to. Maybe a follow through here, the back-to-back, can't quite. But yeah, look at how many are left out of the field. This is a very rare sight for European qualifiers.
I mean, and it kind of compounds on top of itself.
Dude, I guarantee you that's pretty much, that's almost every ball. Oh, what a clutch play. He was at 11 HP. I bet that's at least half of the baller spawns that actually spawn.
The baller with the 150 HP, one AR round into him, and then followed by an RPG to be a ton of damage. But now, go to work, ignore the ballers on the low ground, running around like they're a game of marbles, and he finds Trophy.
Oh my god.
Right after.
13 players left. Still in the rotation here, taking a chance to pop a mini. Does have the campfire, may or may not put it down. Not at this point.
He only has one mini.
Push forward. Like you said, multiple ballers are still in play, and with players not jumping out and not having pressure applied to them, you're looking at way less than 11 people. The player count remaining, that's not the number that are actually forced to engage each other right now. The people in ballers are almost being ignored. The heavy snipe from behind, and Mav Jones.
He had no HP.
Elam, the push inside. He realized. Look at how many people are around in the same box.
And then said everybody goes up to the sky. No Elam coming out there. So all of a sudden, 3 up, 7 down. Palazeto on the ultimate high ground. Wesley Nutt and Blackso on the low ground. Jag ADX also on the mid tarp. Palazeto looking for shots. Has redeployed and the flint knock. Not going to find any. So ultimate high is going to be in his control. 10 players left, but he gets challenged.
One more all the way in the high ground, just barely lost it to Flintlock, flying up above. What a play! Takes the high ground back. Has ultimate high, looking down from above. Only 29 builds. Has the redeploy to catch himself if he has to jump off, if he runs out of materials, but we'll see here in a second.
Somebody else just went up.
Yep, you heard it. There it is, the fish flying past. Palazeto might take a shot. The Flintlock kind of gets stuck in his own box for a second. This ADX dropping in. Mexi from Loot Boy. In the middle of your screen there, Palazeto still has the high ground, drops down to the next.
My name is Feisykes.
Trying to stay in the safe zone. This is the most players we've seen in a zone this tight in a long time. The Rift.
That's one. It's one player up in the Rift. So you have one player up in the sky. Palazeto on ultimate high ground. Power, Psyches, and Blackso down the low. You have Palazeto in your top right, Power in your bottom right. Palazeto looking for it, and he finds Maxi out of the sky, and he gets the Cypher. Now he's dropping down with the redeploy, looking for Psychic on the campfire, and he finds it, gets the Siphon, and it's enough to put him over the top for the victory royale. Palazeto, you are mad indeed. The 2 Elam being the swing, 12 points there. Well done, sir.
The transition of the shot with the Flintlock midair into an immediate descend, the redeploy to catch himself, and then the swap to attack AR and straight to the build while the player was sitting on top of both campfires. 200 IQ.
That was
oh my
really
gosh.
well played from Palazeto. That's probably some of the best overall Flintlock usage we've seen. We took high ground, I think, twice.
You did.
Going there, and then additionally picked up a sick Elam on the player out of the air with that heavy shot, and then dropped down. I mean, it's well done.
Literally, you were saying he was unchallenged for high ground, immediately got challenged, and then used the Flintlock on a single build out to take it back and force the player to drop. Well played indeed. What a loadout for the late game too. Anyway, 43 players left. Next game.
I'm gonna make a bet. Oh, never mind.
42 players left. 2 players
I was gonna say that I bet this kid dies on his rotation because he had no health, but now he has health.
Someone's trying to pick up another one. That was the first elimination for this player this game. By the way, quick reminder, 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. If you would like to queue in, you're in the European region, now's the time to do it. Those last couple in. This is the last week for solos to qualify to punch that ticket to New York City. Don't forget it.
And after that, there's no more solo spots. 8 more players will be advancing from Europe. We'll have 6 from NA East, 2 from NA West, and 1 coming out of Brazil. And then the solos competition will be completely rounded out. These are the final moments. Again, don't forget, we will go a little bit longer than the queue times because the average game of full Fortnite is about 26 minutes long. So need to let everyone finish up, get all of those results tallied in, because every single time, it's going to come down to the last match of the server, those top point lobbies. And right now, Motor is trying to make a case to get into one of those lobbies as he's sitting in this cone looking for a peek. 42 players remaining, so again, everyone playing absurdly safe. Nobody wants to put themselves at risk, and Motor recognizes that, trying to pile in on that player as Paquito and Freck get taken down, and we have our top 40, Tohaj, being taken down as well, and we're still 14 players away from the first placement threshold.
First full move circle here in a second.
I have nibbles.
Circle 6 to 7, transition to the northwest. I mean, interesting one, too. A number of players up on top of a hill. You see in the mini-map there, that left side based around the supply crate on the map. Holding the edit here. Motor trying to
After this game, guys, I'm gonna end the stream.
back behind him. I don't know if he realizes that player up above him. Oh, he does now. If he didn't before. Surprise, there it is. A quick attempt. And the seal off, the close off of the edit there. Quick reset. Well played from whoever that is inside.
Yeah, I just saw a nightmare situation where he had pushed out right after that for the shot and just accidentally stepped in the heavy sniper bullet. Now you can see that Storm Surge turning on right there. Motor more than fine, 502 above. Might regret popping that Shadow Zone since had a community launchpad placed right next to him. But
Oh!
I don't think he regrets it anymore. Honestly, Sundown, I think he's pretty happy about how that turned out. What a shot on rotation, a quick 180 in the combat to the dome, picks up an Elim. Sundown's mouth is literally sitting open. You can't believe what he saw. That was ridiculous.
Mongrel has no HP.
Bunny hopped right there to get maximum distance. So what
Well
that
played.
is spamming your jump button right
69 shield, 13 health.
extra horizontal distance, and it carried him past the player. So the 180 and one hit him with the combat. That's what I talk about when, like, sometimes I feel like these guys are playing a different game than I am.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I know for
No,
a fact I could do all of those
That's
things.
not Fortnite. I don't know what that is. That's not Fortnite. That's some craziness.
It's nuts. These guys pushing the envelope, but Mongrel, speaking of pushing the envelope, not going to pull a Mitro on the dual partner there, opens the door, gets over onto the side, and is desperately looking for every point he can. Doesn't want any interaction if he can avoid it. Will he find it? 2 HP?
Oh, yes!
Motor gets taken down. 26 players remaining. Mongrel, that could have been your moment in the box. 2 HP. Erosi gets Aki. That's 2 more points going over for.
He has no shield.
Could be huge. That could be it. And now Mongrel on the side of the zone, back up to 75 HP. What can he do with
Jesus Christ, Sundown, chill!
70 materials on the side of the zone. 24 players left. Less than 5 minutes left in the queue times. If you want to go to New York City, you show up right now. And unfortunately, Mongrel is out. Let's see if he can get another queue as the rest of the match is now running. Provoked up on the high ground. You see Stompy, Martez also hanging out. Martez trying to take the high ground away, but SB Almond is up there as we hit the second placement threshold. Top 15 now.
Stompy picking up another elimination in the feed. Provoked at 3 eliminations from Fnatic here. Stompy picking up actually another one. Stompy absolutely owning the feed. Provoked.
Did he not get that slurp off?
Very edge of the zone. Takes the chance, an opportunity to pop that slurp and get a little bit of a tick. Moves forward, trying to top off the HP. Players fighting underneath him, looking for a chance to establish a base
Take
of
a mini.
operations on
Yeah.
the move here. And it's going to be difficult. Does get the mini off, though. Looking for players from behind. Very common tactic here. You get into a safe area where even if it might be 3-4 meters, catches someone in the face with that combat shotgun. You look for any chance for a quick whip back, anybody moving in from the outside of the storm, because they're the ones that they're forced to move in. You can't sit out there. And so even if you have 3, 4, 5 feet ahead of them, you can look back and get a shot off and pick up an elimination. 40 seconds left on that European queue. Get in those games if you're going to try and get the last ones in. Quick edit, peek through. Cubex gets tapped one time, very low. Now you have to remember there's a 60-second window after that damage where storm damage maybe claims that player, gets an elimination. It's going to count for Provoked. Dropping in here, 8 players left. Quick swap, shot, back to back, and NQ goes down. Look for another, players underneath on rotation. Quick edit down to push in, finds another on the outside. One more.
Dude, this guy's... Frank, bro, jeez!
The triple in the feed, and there's 3 players left. Provoked on the ultimate low ground right now. 1 mini pop, moves all the way to the edge, pops.
First campfire. He's getting pressure from both sides now. And this is the top.
He's dead, yeah.
Can't find the shot. It's AIM Cubex who gets it. That's 52 points for Provoked.
Ace
Again,
just
each
started,
one of
I
these
think.
elements, each one of them matters more when you're in these high points lobby. Martaz
Oh, no.
Cubex on the low ground, 39 to 49 points. Martaz
Ace didn't start. He starts in an hour.
0 of Cubex, and that's going to be it. Martaz closes that one out. 43 points so far.
Golly.
Times are closed. The last matches will be coming in, but for now, we're going to throw it back on over to Courage, who's in the studio.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, that is it for the queues out in Europe. You see how dramatic it can be in these final moments. We still have more games to bring you. We want to make sure you get caught up to speed on those exact last matches, but I know, Zeke, we've had some things we've taken a look at that you want to show everyone?
Are they gonna show the
Yeah, man,
placement?
let's do this. We've got some cool clips as we make our way into the station. Just some really fun clips that I wanted to take a moment to talk about. Wolfsies, of course, just had a dope flick shot. Look at that, over on Violin, and just absolutely incredible. This is the level of skill.
Dude, he popped
And I
off
just
this
highlight his
game.
rifling skills and just the way he approaches this fight. He knows the players down below, no builds, and you can just see he's using that brick floor, just ducking behind, making sure it's absorbing. as
He
much
popped
damage
off this game too.
Airwalks. This is someone for me that I truly believe and I want to see go to the World Cup Finals, especially with the last opportunity. Him and his dual partner Nikov have already qualified in duos, right? And even though his other teammates, Kinsar and Hunter, have also qualified. The difference is that Kinsar right now is the only member from Solary that's qualified for the solo format, and Airwalks is looking to do the same. We're going to watch this incredible spree. Just look at the way he's navigating all this density, right? His game sense and his awareness is on point. He's going to pick up 8 elimination total in this run. Now, unfortunately, he does not end up getting the Victory Royale, but just look at this. He's unbelievable. Once he gets going, it's very difficult for him, for anyone to stop him. Now, we're going to see his untimely demise here. He is going to go and try and challenge a player. He's going to pick them off, and he does get traded back out. Now, keep in mind, though, he did make top 5, so he still got the points from that. Now, Tolecito, we saw this incredible play. I thought this was incredible because he used the flint knock to shut down Mexi up on the high ground. And then just look at the HP from everyone else. He has HP advantage. He's so confident. He's just going to dive down and try and go for the challenge. Even if the player had traded out, he would have been in a pretty good state either way. So,
Alright, well, I'm gonna end the stream here. I know I did 2 different streams on this, because the first one, I was gonna try and get my when I ended the first one, I was gonna try and get my face cam to work, but it didn't work. So, I'm gonna watch East. I probably won't stream East. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. Peace.